Welcome to Basic Brewing Video. I'm James Spencer.
I'm Steve Wilkes.
Steve is dressed as himself this this Halloween.
I'm disguised as a competent human being.
It's something he carries off every day.
Pretty much. No one knows.
Happy Halloween, everybody.
This is our second in the installment of our ongoing series,
Brew a Pair. Every Halloween we do something a little wacky.
A little different.
And so tell us, remind me of the story of how this came about.
Well, we are going to make a braggot today. We're calling it Franken-braggot in honor of the season. It came about because we were doing our mead update show at my house last month. And after the show, as we are wont to do, we started sampling different things. And pretty soon I brought out this IPA that I had made. And I said, I've got this IPA that I have made, and I'd like you to try it. And so it was good, and we drank it.
Yes.
And then the next thing we knew, we said, well, what would happen if we blended it with this cyser? Franken-braggot.
Franken-braggot happened.
So we're going to do that. And we just tasted a little, so we decided this would be a good show.
Now, should you tell people what a braggot is?
Yes, a braggot is...
It's not a braggart, it's a braggot.
A braggot. Or bracket. There's a lot of different words for it depending on the culture you're coming from. But braggot, B-R-A-G-G-O-T, is generally used in our culture. It's a malt beverage, so it's a beer that's brewed with honey. Or it's a mead, in other words, a honey wine, mead, and beer mixed together.
So it's a grain and honey.
Grain and honey, that's right.
Yes, and most of the time you do it pre-fermentation, and then you do it. You don't do it like this, but we're going to do it post.
We're going to do it like this.
Post-mortem.
Because we think this works really well, and the first thing that we'll do is taste the beer a little bit.
So we'll sample the beer by itself.
Here's the beer by itself.
I say B-R, B-R-A, B-R-A-G.
This is just a big old chewy IPA.
Oh,
which is delish.
That's really good.
Yep, it's a big old beer. I'm not going to tell you what's in it because I'm going to post the recipe.
It's kind of mapley.
It's brown sugary. Oh. There's quite a bit of brown sugar in it. There's some molasses in it. So, actually, I made the beer and it finished. So it's a monster of a beer. So I made this beer that should have finished out at about 7%. So it fermented out in like one day.
And of course you said, I'll just leave well enough alone.
Yeah, well, of course. So the beer was obviously not done. It had just finished, like the yeast wasn't going to do anything else. So I let it sit for about a week and I went, oh no, what am I going to do? So I made what I'm calling a big starter, big ass starter. It's a family show, and so I made a 1 pound of dry light malt extract, 6 ounces of brown sugar, and 2 or 3 ounces of molasses, some US-05. Let that ferment out for about a week. And then I use that as my starter, that whole gallon.
To go back in there.
I put it right back in. And then the thing did a great fermentation. It just reignited. Everything went great.
Reignited and it feels so...
Right. And that's why it's kind of chewy like it is. So this is a good beer. Okay, so then...
Very tasty.
About a year ago, I made this cyser.
Okay.
Which, if you don't know what a cyser is, it's a mead made with apple cider. So it's honey and cider mixed together. So we'll just sample a little of this on its own. It's a still mead or a still cyser. And I made this really for the holidays, of which this is the second to the last bottle. I only made a 6-pack. So this is apple cider and honey and some Christmas spices.
Oh, I was going to say there's something else in there. That's very nice.
And that's really good. I like this quite a lot. Again, I do have the recipe, and I will post a PDF of it. So you get the apple, you get some honey, the spices are in there. As I recall, there's some ginger, there's some vanilla, there's a little bit of pumpkin pie spice. Not very much, really, really light, but it's in there.
That's
you
very
can
nice.
tell it. So,
very nice, very delicate.
Very delicate. And it's quite alcoholic too, although I didn't take any gravity readings on it, but you can tell it's a pretty...
So I drank all of that and I drank all of
Pretty
that.
happy.
So we're going to have to start all over
All
again.
right, so here we go. So this is cyser. And, wow, that's good. And IPA.
50-50.
About 50-50. Yeah, we're just...
Because we blended it before, so we kind of know. So
And these are the two together.
Franken-braggot.
Franken-braggot. Oh, man.
Oh,
And that is better than the sum of its parts.
wow.
That's really good.
Okay, I'm gonna try to. You get the hops.
Yep.
You get a little bit of the spice. You get the brown sugar, brown sugary. You get the cider in there. It's warming
Yep.
and happy. Boy.
Yeah,
And that
and-
takes me back to the day we were after that episode where it's like, how about a little of this? How about a little of that? Now we did try a combination. I can't remember. It was a piment and something else that we tried together that didn't work.
It was a piment in this beer.
So this is not. It's not a foolproof thing. It was kind of like after we tried that combination, it was like,
Yeah, we didn't
Not
care
so
for
much.
it. So yeah, it was a Malbec piment that I had a few bottles left, made a long time ago. We thought, what the heck? And we tried it, and we both thought it was terrible.
yeah.
So this isn't, you can't just take anything kind of willy-nilly. You'll have to experiment. But also part of the history of this was that when we were out in Salt Lake, we judged braggots.
Right.
And there was a braggot that you tasted that you said, I don't get anything from this. It's like it didn't kind of do anything. It didn't have the malt. It didn't have the honey. It was just kind of, it was very, very neutral. So that kind of led our discussion that day. So
But other people liked it.
that's true. In fact, I liked it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So a lot of it has to do with personal taste. But that
That
I
is
think-
delicious.
I think if
So-
you like big beers especially, you'd like this.
Well, and the nice thing about this too is that you've kind of got three different things here. You've got the cyser that you can have.
Yeah,
you've
you got cider, you've got mead, and you've got beer.
and you got beer. And then you put them all together, you've got something, an unholy alliance.
Now we're going to do
So-
something that we haven't done.
We haven't, so this might not be
It
good.
might be awful.
We don't know what this is going to be like.
So we tasted the rye. We've got the rye, 100% rye beer from the last show that we
Right.
recorded like 2 weeks ago.
And
when we were wearing these same clothes.
I need to change more often.
So we know what that tastes like.
Yep.
So maybe we should. This is your. Well, tell us about that. What's that?
This is a habanero mead, which I made about a year ago. And this is the very last bottle in existence.
And it's sparkling, right?
It's sparkling, and it's been in the bottle for quite a while. We don't know.
But it's been in the fridge this whole
So
time.
it shouldn't be too
So I'll stay
active.
out of your way between
But if I have to make a break for the,
the sink.
because I don't know. Perfect. No,
Coming
it's not
up.
doing anything.
Oh, it's sparkling a little bit.
It's
Oh,
perfect.
I remember this. This is a tasty.
So
Tasty
this
thing.
is I don't remember the recipe. If I can find the recipe, I'll post it, if I already haven't.
Oh, look at that.
But this is
Oh, Look how pretty that
a
is.
mead that I spiked with some habanero chilies. Otherwise, pretty straightforward.
But it's not about the heat.
No.
I mean, you showed great restraint.
Oh, my goodness. That has improved.
Wow.
It was good before. This is really...
It's very dry and fruity, like champagne up front. But then when you swallow it, it's like, hello.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's happening.
That's good.
Woo.
And
Do you
it's
remember
got
how much?
some-
Do you remember what size batch this was and how much habaneros and all that?
It was a 2.5 gallon batch, and I think I used 2 habanero chilies, which I cut in half. I cut all the white part out, the pith
you-
and the seeds, and then I just put them in.
You depithed them,
Depithed.
and no thieves, no thieves or pith. Wow.
And that's
You can get the flavor from the pepper, and again, it's not like
it's not that hot. There's a little heat,
there's some heat.
but it's not
But
going
it's
to
not
knock you down.
painful.
Yeah.
So, should we risk ruining this?
Yes, let's do. Let's risk.
We've got enough left in the bottle. where
Oh
we
yeah.
can-
I'm going to give myself a bit more, so we've got an even pour.
Okay. Now this is the 100% rye beer. This is only 2.5% alcohol. Citra hops.
You want to go about 50-50 just because we don't know what else to do.
Now that's going to add some body to it because this is quite dry. The mead was quite dry.
So this is
About the same color. It's about the same color.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
That's good.
That's really good.
That's really good.
Ooh, that's
really good.
that.
I think I like that better than I do this.
I did. Yes, I agree. The
Holy cats.
citra hops are very lemony and citrusy, and then the little bit of heat from the wow, holy smokes!
That's what the Pope smokes.
Only white smoke comes out.
Only white smoke. Boy, that's really good, and that is. This is a really interesting way to add some variety to your palate.
Wow, and that's the last bottle of that habanero
That's the
mead,
last
isn't it?
one ever. Well, maybe not ever, but
No.
it's the last one.
Last one of that batch.
Jeez Louise, that's good.
Wow,
Yeah.
Wow. That's a happy thing.
Well, I've got 2 other 2.5-gallon batches of mead. They're just sitting in the secondary right now. So we'll have to revisit this again because this is a fun thing to do.
Oh yeah.
Should have a blending party, you know?
Yeah. Well, that's one thing you can do at a party. Is
It's not the only thing.
no, but
Just spin the braggot.
brain not working, can't come up with a clever response. Oh, that's delicious.
Oh!
Oh, it is just
Just so!
it's just delicious. Edgar.
The Joan Rangers.
All right.
We're done. This is great stuff. I like both of these a lot.
Now, we risk crossing.
that's getting bizarre.
I think we risk crossing the streams if we
That's-
blend that.
yeah.
We go a little too far.
Yeah, the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man will come out.
That's right.
Yeah.
Okay. Happy Halloween, everybody. Cheers.
Cheers.
Happy brewing.
Happy brewing.
Come and visit us on the web. At basicbrewing.com, you can find archive lists of both our audio and video podcasts on home brewing. You can also find our DVDs, Extract Brewing and Partial Mashing, Stepping into All Grain, Low-Tech Lagering and Decoction Mashing, Introduction to Wine Kits, and our Basic Brewing Brewer's Logbook, where you can track and log up to 50 batches of beer. Drop us a line. We'd love to hear from you. Write to James at basicbrewing.com, Steve at basicbrewing.com, or just use the contact form on basicbrewing.com.